All right, it's Friday. Have a great day that has panned out. Didn't even really schedule it. It just happened that way, so that's great. When you stay active, things come to you. It's a good lesson. I haven't done a get to know the Northman segment in quite some time. I've been slacking, but I figured I'd get one knocked out here today, get started. I wanted to talk about it for a while. I don't think I have, and if I have, if I'm repeating myself, forgive me. I love stand-up comedy. I'm a big fan of comedy that's aggressive and inappropriate. Political correctness in comedy is a poison and a cancer that rots the soul of humanity. So I love Patrice O'Neal, God rest his soul. Dave Chappelle's special where he roasted everybody was absolutely fantastic. If you want to hear something great, listen to the roast of Patrice O'Neal and listen to the Ben Bailey section. Ben is an absolute savage that does not get enough credit. But I love stand-up comedians, and I was thinking about it. I've tried to do stand-up before myself, open mic nights. I'm not any good at it. But I wanted to talk about a few comedians this month that I enjoy. Well, the end of this month and going into November. One of my favorite comedians out right now, male or female, bar none, has to be Nikki Glaser. I think she is legitimately funny and legitimately intelligent, even though she does a very lowbrow subject matter, which is sex. She talks about sex a lot and gets very detailed within the joke and everything. And it's actually really, so a lot of comedians, male and female, love to talk about sex and genitalia and whatnot because it's not only somewhat shocking and or provocative, but it's something that we all are participating in or want to participate in. So it's a subject matter that's basically universal. So it's actually a really safe bet to talk about sex and talk about body parts and all that stuff, right? But it's difficult to be intelligent in the midst of it because it is such a lowbrow topic of discussion. It's very easy to make a crude sex joke. It's hard to make an intelligent one. On her last special, Nikki Glaser, she did a hilarious joke, and for me, when I try to do stand-up, when I have done it, it's been I do offstage funny on stage, so it doesn't work because unless the audience knows me, I just sound like an Alex Jones wannabe ranting about whatever. So, but I love when comedians tell a joke and the audience gets it in waves. And there was a joke that Nikki told on her, oh God, I can't remember even the special's name. It was on Netflix. But the joke premise was, I remember the first time I gave a blowjob, it was September 11th, 2001. I don't know, something else happened that day. And like people got it in waves. It was one of those like laughing experiences where you hear the audience like go, ha, 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 ha. It's like they didn't get it right away, but they came to it. And that's very, very hard to do. That's very, very hard to do a blowjob joke that's intelligent and really creative in its delivery and be more than just a blowjob joke. She, in my opinion, is one of the smartest comedians out while also being very attractive. I'm not one to get into, why people struggle or why people fail because of societal pressure or an image or whatever the case may be. I'm not one to get into that because I think ultimately at the end of the day, for most people, it's just a crutch or it's just a reason to not excel and not give their best. That's a different video. But Nikki does battle. There is a societal view towards women where if a woman is beautiful and attractive, many times it's a knee-jerk reaction by men and women, believe it or not, women are involved in this too, where they'll say, man, she just made it because she's pretty. She's beautiful. That's the only reason she made it. She's not any good. And I can tell you, growing up when I was younger and being in bands, we played with a lot more bands that had females in it where they were garbage, where you could tell they never practiced a day in their life, than females that were actually good. However, when a female was really good, it was really shocking because not only did they have the naturally beautiful aesthetic that females carry, but they were also skill-based. And that's a very exciting moment when that happens. But unfortunately, in my experience growing up when I was younger playing music, there were a lot of female posers who just wanted to be on stage and have guys look at them and couldn't play their instruments if you held a gun to their head. So that is true in certain cases. However, it doesn't change the fact that it is unfair to people, to females, when they are legitimately good, when they have practice, when they have worked on their skill set, their craft, whatever the case may be, and they get pushback from society and or from the market that just says, well, you made it because you're pretty. Now, I'm not saying that that's happened to Nikki. I don't know. I've listened to her show a few times. I've never heard her say that. But I do know from my experience interacting with females and seeing that the other side, where a female has just tried to use her looks and she isn't good, the other side of that is someone like Nikki, who is legitimately beautiful, but is more is more talented than even she is pretty. And I guarantee you she has confronted that. I guarantee you she has heard that. She's dealt with that in some way, shape, or form. And for her to overcome that and still keep her head down, focus on her jokes, focus on being clever, find a way to make a topic as crude and as lowbrow as sex intelligent as well as funny is really impressive. I'm a big fan of her. I think she's really, really funny. I think her challenge will be in the next year or so to develop and to go into a different topic of discussion. She's so beautiful and she's so funny talking about sex and making sex jokes. It may have become her brand, but if that's the case, she may have a short lifespan, which I hope not. I hope she can keep going and keep being successful and making great jokes. But her challenge will be to eventually develop and cultivate like a new well of creative material that isn't about sex. Like maybe she starts talking about the Postal Service. I don't know. But again, that's why I'm probably not good at stand-up. I just said she should talk about the Postal Service. But the point is, she's awesome. Nikki Glaser's fantastic. If you haven't checked out her special, it's a year or two old now, but it's awesome. At least the last one that I know of. She's great. She's awesome. Check her out. I love comedy. Let's go. If you've liked the content, like, share, subscribe. And if you don't like it, send it to someone you hate.